picking up the pieces. Hey, everybody. Welcome to my podcast, Ill Equipped. And if you're new, thank you for listening. And if you've been with me from the start, I just want to say thank you for sticking around. We are going places, we are doing things. But, yeah, on here we do it real and raw and uncut. And I woke up and I felt like this, so I had to give you all a little piece of me. This is not something that I had to try to get to. It's just something that is and that was, and I guess it's time to talk about it. On my last podcast, I spoke about me just my second to last podcast. I spoke about me just being, just okay, just okay. Picking up the pieces. I'm ill equipped right now. I'm not prepared. And, if you're looking for perfect, just keep listening because I don't live by the rules of society here. But, yeah, my second to last podcast, I spoke about, you know, uh, just being okay. And I spoke about, some of the things that, like, I was going through in the sense that I wanted to talk about this. I am going to pause this really fast. I have to blow my nose. That's disgusting. I'm not going to do that on pod. But I felt like I needed to do this because this is probably the rawest, You'll hear me. I don't do a lot of crying, but this is part of the journey. And I feel like if I don't, you know, record the rawest parts, you know, the parts that make us, remind us why we're actually doing this. You know, it's all part of life. The good, the bad, and even the ugly, the parts we hide. And on here you get everything. You get me. But it's hard. It's hard moving on. Not because it's now it's in my case, it's not because you know you can't, but it's almost like you don't want to. You can, you know you can, but it's like you don't want to. You choose to stay. And, to wake up is hard. Because for me, I get better. And this may sound crazy to some of my listeners, but I get better every day. And then I feel like, well, why, why, why am I getting better without you? I feel strength each day, but I also feel myself breaking down each day. So it's like a two-way street, right? One lane you're driving, and in the other lane you just feel like you have no control. And it's hard. It's hard to let go. And it's hard. It's hard to do life without that person, especially when you thought that person was your person for life. And now life kind of seems like, you're all by yourself, but I just want to reassure anybody listening, all my listeners out there in different parts of your life, world, space, time, you can make it. And even though it seems like it's impossible right now, you can make it. So when it gets rough like this, I always check in with myself. I'm a believer, but it gets hard. That's real. That's raw. It's uncut. Like so many times I think we want to hate, but to truly be able to heal and to move on is to truly love, love again, and forgive, and forgive, and forgive, and love again. Because the time you may have invested, that was the time you had. And people are in our lives for certain reasons, times and spaces, and we have to let go. And even if that's allowing them to be better for somebody else, it's okay. It's okay. It's not easy, but it will be okay. Yes. That's emotions, you know. It's not easy when you invest your time into someone you feel owed, but they don't owe you anything. They don't owe you anything. You don't owe them anything. Nothing. So you have to learn to love again. You have to learn to forgive. Only reason why I didn't say forget because I'm not good at forgetting people. I mean, if you were in my life, you're probably gonna always be in my life in some way. But forgive so that your heart can move on and love again. But if you don't forgive, if you choose to stay stagnant, if you choose to stay back, then you won't forgive. But I know why a lot of people do, because it's hard to move on. Because you feel like, I can't forget this person. I'm moving on to somebody that doesn't know me. This person knows me. I know them. Right. That's raw. But sometimes we have to take a chance on life or love or allow ourselves to be known. We can't say, well, you don't know me, but we don't allow ourselves to be known. We don't allow anybody to get close. We don't allow anybody to know us. So it's who we say, well, I don't know you, you don't know me, but we never let anybody in because we're so closed off from our previous relationship. And I'm here to tell you it's okay. It's okay. It will be okay. And if you're not alright, like I'm not alright, it will be okay. We in this together. Okay. Hold on. And cry as much as you want to. But I just want to tell you this. Just don't give up on love. Don't give up on people. Your best transformation comes from when you're by yourself. You're not alone, but you have to heal yourself by yourself in order to be great, awesome for somebody else. No matter who it is, you gotta get yourself together. You have to love on yourself. You have to be there for yourself and other people. Sacrifice your time, your love, your energy, space. Be kind to others. Find the joys in life. There are a lot of them. I know it may not seem like it. Eat. Take care of your body. Stay healthy and positive even when it doesn't feel like you can. I want to tell you, I know it's like positive where, but yeah, it's there. It's you. It's you. I'm positive it's like a blue. My nose. That's it. No, that gave me a little chuckle because it's like, blue. What? And uh, so I woke up feeling like this. As Beyonce would say, I never knew what that meant, but yeah, woke up in the fields. Mm. So I'm sharing, I'm sharing, but I ain't caring. I'm so corny. If that went over your head, please keep listening. Anyway, um, Yeah, so I'm already feeling a little bit better. So sorry I was crying so much, ugly crying, but at least I'm not ugly when I'm crying. I mean, but even if I was, I don't care if you're ugly when you're crying, so what? Pluck up. Right off my toes. Because I don't even care. Looking for perfect, keep listening. The rules of society don't abide here. Go to another podcast if you they have it all together. We don't. We're messy over here. We're sloppy. We're undone, and it's the only way, I can do it. I can't pretend I'm not perfect. I'm not 100% all together, and if I come as such, I think you all won't see through me, because when I try to pretend, I'm like, yeah, and this, and my conversations are super, super bland, because it's not me talking. But when you get the real raw me, you get everything. So this is me. Thank you for listening. Sorry if I'm, making you a little sad. But sad is good. Sad is progress. Sad is knowing. Sad is claiming. We're claiming sad. We're claiming happy. We're claiming hope. We're claiming, longevity, love, peace, harmony. But to go through that, to get to all those things, you have to go through the muddy waters. You have to get to and get past everything that you're going through. You can't walk over it. I want to stress that enough, because when you find your strength, so you will find it. It may seem hidden, but you will find it. Uh, you you have to go through the waters. You cannot, you will not get to the other side without going through. You will not, without suffrage. I'm sorry, you have to. There's no other way. All those people you think that aren't suffering, that's why I don't want anything that anybody has. That's their life. I've never known more about a person until somebody's told me, but to actually care that much, I've never known to care that much about a person. We have to figure out in life the joys, right? But when we find that strength, we figure out we're going to be okay, right? You got to take some time for yourself, right? And on my last, my second, I keep talking about my last. I keep thinking it's my last on my podcast, my second to last podcast on approaching 30. I spoke about ugly crying and those talks that we have to kind of have with ourselves. And I think it's important to sit down and ugly cry as I am now, and really face life as it's coming to you. And that's the best way. It's not the easiest, but it's the best way for me. It works for me. It works for me. And again, I spoke on my second to last podcast. I told you, if you're looking for perfect, just keep listening, because I keep wanting to say my last podcast, but it wasn't my last podcast. Me and my family actually did a super, super awesome podcast about self love. That was my latest podcast. If you haven't listened to that one, please go check it out. It's super dope, super awesome. I had a special guest on there with me, and we collabed in talking about love, relationships, and life and loss. So super dope. Please go check that out if you got time. If you have checked it out already, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, but just talking about how we're able to kind of move forward and being okay and having oneself, and I think that's super important to even touch on with this podcast, is that being able to have yourself, throughout it all. Because some people say, well, you have to, be selfless. You cannot be selfish. But in reality, you have to be. You have to have yourself. Because when a relationship ends, what do you have? What are you left with? And this is what we spoke about on my last podcast. Thank you. Got it right that time. My last podcast about love, life, and loss. How do you like figure out what's your next move and you don't even know where you are? Who has you? When it all falls down, Kanye West's voice, who has you? Right? And so we start to like look for other people. We confide in other people. We turn even, to that person that hurt us again. And we're like, I need you. I need you. I don't know what I'm going to do. And that's because we don't have any self love. So we continue to run back to the same exact people or person that hurt us, situations that hurt us, because we've never sat down and ugly cried. We never sat down and really went through this stage of life where this is called suffrage. I want to say it again, suffrage. It's not fun. There's no smiles. It's all tears. Alicia Cara, my girl, River of Tears. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to that song. It's a couple years old, but a river of tears. Like I have, like no, like it's not even like I have advice for you, but it's, if you don't want to hear it, then just keep listening, because it's not easy. It's hard as hell to wake up every day and be without your person. No matter who you thought your person or what they look like, it's hard to wake up without your person. Believe me, it's hard as hell. And it just like do I keep going without you? Because each day I get better. And it's like I don't want to get better. It's like I don't I know the suffrage. I know I'm going through it, but it's almost like, why am I getting better? Because like I'm getting better, but I'm getting better without you. Like I never thought that I could get to this point. And it's that self-love, that that selfless part of us, where we just want to keep loving on somebody else, even if we don't have enough love for ourselves. That's selfish. That's selfish. We're not loving ourselves. You gotta pull back and start loving on you by yourself. You didn't go into that relationship with them. You came into it by yourself and you forgot all about yourself because you were so worried about loving on them. You forgot about loving on yourself. You forgot about being there for yourself. What does that even look like? You don't even know anymore. You don't know what being there for self is. You got lost. You lost yourself, and that's okay. We're here to say it's okay. This is where we come to find our lost souls. This is the place where it's okay to have a lost soul. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to not be okay. Right? So at the beginning of my podcast, I couldn't even talk. Now I'm almost struggling to cry because let me tell you, I'm living proof, real and raw. I'm like, well, I was just crying. I couldn't talk. Listen, I gotta make up these tears. Okay? We got the strength. It's in us. I don't want to be strong without you. If I gotta make up these tears. Because, boy, when I do, my past is just that. Right? And a lot of us, we want to hold on, but it's okay. It's alright to let go and discover yourself, your worth, your glory, your power, your strength, your resilience. You'll find that only when you're by yourself. Nobody can give that to you. Nobody can take it away from you. Okay? I want you to listen to me again. Nobody can give you anything. If I give you this, I can take it away. Nobody can do that. You have to find it for yourself. Nobody will be able to take that away from you. Nobody. Friends, family, or foe. Because on my first podcast, Illmatic, I talked about rebranding. I talked about looking good. On my second to last podcast, even on my last podcast, I talked about, how important it is to be authentic. And I know for a lot of people, that's scary. How can how can I be myself? They'll accept you. I'm saying that they will. They won't accept themselves, not you. In that space, it's not up to you to allow people to accept you. Go in there as you and see if they accept themselves. You already know who you are. Don't walk into a room of people and forget that. They don't know them. And I meant to say selves, but they don't know themselves. And I told y'all this is real, this is raw, this is uncut. I'm not editing it. I did. But I did pause because like they don't know themselves. But I said them. And I'm like, they only said them, right? But no, they don't know themselves. So when you walk into a room, I know I was gonna say that, but that's what people do. They're like, did I just? I'm about to edit that. I'm not. Um, but I'm just looking at something too. Sorry, apologize, y'all. But do like when you walk into a room, they start to question themselves. Like they don't know who they are. Like they're envious, they're jealous. And any of my listeners, I don't know if you know this, but I just want to tell you, please educate yourself. Please, 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 please stay off of social media. And please educate yourself uh, when it comes to knowing things. And I'm saying that to say envious and jealous mean two different things. I'm not giving y'all the definition. It's too early in the morning. I, I'm not doing it. But go look it up. Super cool, super interesting. Envious and jealous. Two totally different meanings. I know we say, I'm not jealous, I'm not envious. Two totally different things. Go look it up. Yeah, that's all I can say. Go look it up. I mean, you can use Google, but books too are super important. I'm super like shocked libraries like are still a thing because like yeah nobody reads books anymore. At least nobody I'm around, but they do read Facebook. So I will say that Facebook literally is just a negative entity for people who yeah just pretend all their life that they're something and they're not. And then they gotta like slog out and they're like, oh yeah, my life. I'm not shit. And I know that. But I know that. Like, I know that I'm not shit. Like, I don't need Facebook to tell me that. Because my life is, sometimes it's a wreck. It's a shit show. And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not, you want to know what I'm not okay with? Like, I'm not okay with, like, pretending that my life isn't a shit show. And, like, everything is put together. And, like, I have it all. And, yeah, like, no. Like, what do I have to prove? And to who and for why? Like, what are you proving to me? Hmm. Pinky finger. If you grew up on Austin Powers, then yeah, super, super shout out to Austin Powers, Gold Dust, Beyonce, whatever. Um, was it Gold Dust or was it Gold Member? I think. I think it was Gold Member. Like, I feel like the more that I think about it, Mini me. Mini me. Oh my god. Oh gosh. Now I'm going back. Now I'm going back. But how cute was like the mini me though. Anyway, love, 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 love. Austin Powers. Groovy, baby. Groovy. I know. I like. I'm done. I'm done. Somebody like. Ugh, I hate it. If you're looking for perfect, just keep listening. You know you didn't. If you just tuning in, know this is not. And if you're listening with somebody and you're a regular folk, please no, this is not like one of them where we're staying on topic. I just sometimes I get sidetracked and yeah, Austin Powers just took me there. I haven't seen it actually. I'm like now I'm like super like I want to watch Austin Powers now. Like I'm looking like I'm about to. What in the world? Y'all, I ain't gonna tell y'all what I did. I'm just, if you know, you know. I mean, if you don't, you don't. And I think that saying actually came from a song. I don't know where it came from, but in my certain situation, what I'm going through right here, y'all, I done did something, and it could potentially bring tears if you a crackhead. But if you are, then you laugh at it and you just be like, so if you know, you know, you know, you know. And I got corporate too, y'all. So it just give you another clue to my woes over here than what I done did. I got Idris Elba on there. Okay. But y'all, I'm super distracted right now. I'm not promoting none of Netflix stuff. I was about to go tell y'all to watch something. No, go listen to my last album. I said my last album. Now go sit down. They got this. Okay, I'm done reading it anyway. But I mean, I'm done. Like yeah, I'm just done. But yeah. So listen, Austin Powers just threw me all off. Groovy baby. I'm super. I'm okay now. Like I'm okay now. Like I'm super okay. Like I'm literally okay. So yeah, just finding that strength, finding yourself. Um, yeah, all that good stuff there. And like I said, if you're new to my podcast, welcome in. Thank you for joining me, for listening to my craziness on ill equipped. And that's what we do here. We're literally ill equipped. There's no editing. Literally, there's no. Well, there is a pause. I had to pause because I had to blow my nose, and I don't think that's. I don't think y'all should get that much. Like, wow. I mean, I could have, but I just thought that was rude. Really raw, but rude. Still or. So yeah, um, woke up feeling like this, Beyonce. So I gave y'all a piece of my soul, a piece of my heart. It's been um, it's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks, and each day I feel like well, one day I'll wake up and I'll be like, I'm fine, and then I'll get up and I'll like feel the world like just on me. And I never run from those emotions. I stay and I fight them. And sometimes they win, sometimes I win. But I live to fight another day. I don't run from them. I don't mask them. I don't hide them. Because I know if I do, what I would just be doing is drowning in my thoughts, in my pain, in my hurt. I would be literally acting on it. I would be drinking, smoking, fighting with other people, with my family, pushing people away. No, I still have hope for love, for the future, for myself. I love myself, and that's where it starts. I love God. I'm a believer. If you don't believe in the Lord, that's okay. Get right with Him, though. Start praying. Telling you, I see somebody say God is just the adult's imaginary friend. I said, well, he's the best imaginary friend I ever. Yeah, ever. Don't play with him. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Stay with it. Oh, stay with it. Okay, in my corner. I have faith. I have hope in the future and love. I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I think that's another thing too. Like I don't question what it is that I'm actually going through. Like I don't like it's like, okay, well, why me? Like, why not me? Like there's some things that I'm like, yeah, you need to be going through that. Like you need to be feeling that, because I was feeling myself way too much. Never get too above where you feel like you can't be lower. Like be very humble, very humble. When I say humble, very humble, very humble. Cause somebody, something will humble you. I'm telling you. Pride. I spoke about that on my first episode back. Illmatic. Go check it out. About how pride become pride comes before the fall. You will fall. So never have enough pride where you can't look at yourself and be like, well, I need to be going through this. Like I need to be, living in this. I need to feel all of this to feel, to know what I want. All of that stuff. And and on approaching 30, my second to last episode, I spoke about giving more than we receive. Now, that can also, for a lot of people, be a two-way street. Well, I'm not going to give somebody more than they're giving me. Oh, well, I'm going to only go 50-50. And there are some people who are like, it's a one-way street. I'm just going 100%. I don't care what you give me. What works for you works for you. But have yourself. Know who you are. So that way when you step into a relationship, you can see somebody else. You're not questioning yourself and who you are and that person and everything that they're doing because you're insecure within yourself. You know yourself. You're grounded. You're rooted. Let that person be them. Let them flap like you came in here flapping. If that's what you choose to do, if a relationship is something that you're going into, and it just, and I know this is me speaking on it could, because I had to, because I said I would, because I said I was just okay, and I said we would speak about my situation on another podcast. So now we are talking about it. Now we're here. Um, but just because this situation is now doesn't mean that this is forever. You have to improve and better yourself for somebody else. There's somebody else coming down the line. There's somebody else. And it's literally not like, oh, where you at, where you at, where you at. No, you literally have to take time. We don't want to do that. We want everything now, 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 now. Now, 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 now. Instant gratification. We can talk about it. Instant gratification. We have gotten so used to getting things right on demand. Order it, it's on its way. You know, and so we are like, well, I could just jump from one person to the next. If I want them, what they say, I'll get them. But you don't have that person. You have a piece of that person, but you don't have that person. Because most of the times people are jumping into relationships super fast and you don't even know, we don't know the people. We give everything away and we don't even know the person. So it's important to know yourself going into, relationships, because you could jump into something and lose yourself. Literally, I spoke about that on the last podcast, with my family. I literally said I love somebody more than they loved me. I did. I literally love somebody more than they love me. I didn't know what loving myself was. I was young though too. So I attribute being young and not knowing, um, but it's a question, that I often ponder with, and I think about. It's like, where do we lose ourselves at? Because in all honesty, I honestly think, I'm not going to say it's just females, but I'm a female, so the perspective came in my view this way. I thought about, I said, excuse me, I'm like, do we lose our good soul messing around with people who have no good intentions for us? Like, understand what I'm saying. So, do we literally lose? So, like I just spoke on losing oneself, but do we, like, there's more than just the body. Like, the body is still there, but we actually, like, lose our soul. Like, and they, like, I know, like, a lot of people heard about, like, being soul tied, and chemistry is matched up. But, like, do we, like, literally lose a part of, like, that part of who we are? Mind, body, soul. However you do, we, like, does our soul get so encapsulated into and invested into somebody else that we lose ourselves? And not to say that it's a bad thing, because I believe that it's okay to invest and have your soul encapsulated within somebody else's soul. But is it a soul tie? Is it something where they're sacrificing their soul into your life, into your body, and you feel that. Like, and that's where I'm like, that two-way streak where it's like, I need that. Like, it can't be that, well, that I'm going to go 100 and you only going 25 or 20. Because I want to be soul tied. Like, I want to, like, I want to lose myself and invest myself into somebody and my time. But do we spend too much time investing ourselves and then we lose ourselves or good soul into somebody that don't have pure intentions? Not saying they're a bad person, but their intentions for us just aren't pure, aren't true. They aren't the same as my intentions or your intentions. So how do we get to that point where we talk about, okay, because I asked straight up, what are your intentions with me? Look, straight up and down. Now, like, I'm asking, what do you want from me? Like, blunt a relationship. What do you want from me? I need to know. I need clear answers. I need you to be concise. And I need you to be true on your intentions. Nothing else matters. So that's the real thing to think about. Where does our soul go when we get so invested and tied down into somebody else? Do we ever get it back? And if we do, is it the same? I don't think so. Like, I don't think that the soul is ever the same again once it's been tied and mixed and, but again, that's okay because nothing is ever supposed to stay the same. So don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted when I say it's not the same and saying like that's a negative. That's a good thing. That's a positive. Like your soul never being the same is a good thing, because listen, if you walk into every situation the same way, you're going to walk out of every situation the same way with nothing, because this one didn't work out for you. You got to come in different, you got to go in different, you got to change, you have to be a different you and change. Life, losses, love, relationships will bring that, whether you like it or not. It will force you to change. It will force you to have that sit down with yourself and say, what is going on with me? What is it with me? Something is going on. I need to change something. Something is changing, or the change may even be happening. You may be in it, and it's like it's already happened. Like I said, I'm a believer in the Lord's changing it, and He's turning the wheel, and you just don't see it. But that's okay. You got to get with it. Start looking around. Change is happening. It's all around us. It's all about whether you're willing to accept it or not. And I spoke about that. Purpose is everything. You hear me? Purpose, purpose, purpose. Approaching 30. I purposely keep mentioning my podcast. Go check them out. Purposely, purpose. Everything has to do with purpose and taking accountability. And as we get older, we have to be more responsible. We just have to. Like, how could we tell kids, and I don't have no kids. I have two God kids. Them are my kids. Them are my babies since birth, since the womb to the tomb. All day with me, always with me. But how could Godmom in my presence in their life, tell them to be accountable, and I'm aging out, and I'm like, it's y'all fault. Y'all did it. Y'all's the one that got me here. But Godmom's pointing a finger at everybody else. As we get older, we have to be more responsible with our hearts, with people, with time. So that way, when we do invest, we get out what we put in. Now, I'm not talking about money. Love, peace, and harmony within yourself. So if you heard nothing else on this podcast, you heard self. Invest enough time in yourself. Spend time with yourself. Love yourself. Correct yourself. Be accountable with yourself. It starts with you, it ends with you. We can't possibly want a relationship or, a friendship or a partnership within a business or, whatever you may aspire to be or attain without ownership, accountability. And I'll leave that one there. So, again, I just want to thank everybody that's listening. If you happen to just come across this podcast, I'm super, super thankful for you all for taking your time out of your crazy lives to listen to me and my nonsense. I truly, truly, truly appreciate each and every one of y'all. If you've been with me since the start, 2020, super, super thankful. Super thankful. And if you're new to Ill Equipped, welcome, welcome, welcome. Family here. You see, here is it's just unorthodox. It's nothing you probably ever heard before. And that's what I want to do. It's just real, it's just raw, it's uncut. There's a lot of things that, we kind of, we do, which is smoke and mirrors. In today's society, we make a lot look good, even when it's ugly and it doesn't. But on here, I can't. So if you happen to be listening to this podcast, then you're in a good space right now. I don't know how many people would agree. I said that on my last podcast, but luck 'em. That's what I would say. Just keep going. You got this. And, I hope you all can join me for my next podcast. I don't know what the topic will be. I'm never like, oh yeah, and on my next podcast, we'll be discussing this. I'm never prepared. Like, I just jump in. That's the thing about it. And that's where I got the idea and the motivation for the title of my podcast. Excuse me. Ill equipped is not having preparation, not being prepared, kind of just jumping and just going. total satire, and some people would say that's the total opposite of what you should do. You should to be well equipped and prepared, and in some situations in life we just can't be. We can't be. It's like life happens and we're not, and whatever, and we're dealing. And so yeah, that's what you're getting here. You're just dealing with me and my shit and whatever, and if you like it, I love it, and we're gonna be loving it together. But if not, just keep listening too, because perfect doesn't live here, and that's just what it is. No preparation needed for me, just my voice out there, and I hope you all have the courage to do the same. Whatever it is in life that you want to do, just do it. Approaching 30 again. I'm purposely speaking about my last podcast. I know I said I'll be ending this soon, but I just want to make sure that you all really you hear approaching 30 super super heavy. Just not being prepared, not having it all together, but having a motivation and get your voice out there, and if it works for you, it works for you, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But find your lane and do it your way, and that's kind of what I was speaking on. So go check it out, super dope. uh yeah, like, just do it whatever way you that suits you best. But we can't live by the rules of society, and that's in my title of on my podcast, because the rules of society are too narrowed or too strict. They're constricting. They bring about suffrage in a way where I don't want to suffer in that way. Like what I'm going through now, I'll take all day over living by the rules of society. I'll die. I'll literally die, because I won't be able to be who I am. Like, my soul will die, because I'm so busy trying to fit this perfect being for people that don't give a fuck about me, don't know me, but yet I'm worried about them judging me. How I look, how I talk, how I sound, what I say, what I wear, who I go, where I go, who I go with. Block 'em. That's what I say. All day. Hard. Block 'em. Be you. 100%. I'm telling you. People will love you forever. Ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Forgive yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Love other people. And allow yourself to be loved on. And I'm going to just check out with that one. I love everybody that loves me. Even if you don't, I love you more. And I hope you all could join me back for my next podcast. Everyone, have a good day. Bye.